welcome back to Eyes Open Media. Hope you guys are doing well. Like, subscribe, and share. And thank you guys for watching the video. It is January 22nd, 2019. All right, here is your Iraqi dinar video from Currency 365. All right, we got a lot to talk about because there's a lot of stuff here. But it was kind of interesting because you guys, if you guys haven't watched Benny's video, go watch Benny's video. It's talking about the ghost is coming or something like that. I can't remember the title. But the video's out. It was really interesting. At one point he talks about the break in the system again. That we're trying to, we're all throwing all these ideas out, which is great because that's what we're trying to do in the community about the break in the system, the prophetic boom, and all these other things that correlate with we're seeing a revaluation because it looks like in our eyes that they're going to have to be forced to change for the better of their country, right? Iraq is. So we're all looking for what is this break? What is this break? What is all going to happen? And Benny said something interesting yesterday. I can't really remember what he said, but he talked about the break in the system, and he said that that God told him that it's going to start with the impeachment of Donald Trump, right? So they were going to start filing for impeachment, which we all know that's not going to pass because because the Democrats do not run the Senate. So we know the impeachment is a waste of time, but the Democrats are going to do it anyways because they're going to think that if they do it, it's going to hurt Donald Trump's chances and being reelected. So they're going to go ahead and try to do that. Okay. So they're gonna probably go ahead and do it, and try to impeach him. Start the paperwork for impeachment at the House because they do have enough people in the House to impeach him in the House, but not the Senate, right? So the Lord told Benny that that's when you're going to start to see it. It's when they get real about the impeachment and they try to actually put it into law or into a vote and things like that. When it gets really heavy that Donald Trump's about to be impeached, at least in the House level, because it won't pass in the Senate, but in the House, then you're going to see the stock market start to crash. Okay, and then which makes sense because there's a lot of Americans that don't want Donald Trump impeached, right? And so. And remember, I told you guys. Actually, Prophetess Solomon said in one of her videos that the Lord said that if they actually show you the real numbers of America, most of the states are red. And remember, Prophet Solomon doesn't know anything about politics, so she doesn't. I mean, you know what I mean? She's not in it. She's not in that politics grind. She's all about the Lord, right? So she doesn't know, right? So when the Lord told her, she's like, wow, you know what I mean? So and I've been saying that I'm like these numbers are way off. These numbers are false, right? And even when you look at the map, it's mostly red anyways, right? The map's mostly red anyways, right? But the majority of people live in New York, Florida, and Texas and California. So because New York and California are liberal, it allows them to have or to get the races are much closer just because of those two states. You remove New York and Florida, the Republicans win by a landslide every time, right? So if those two states didn't even exist, with all their electoral votes and population, you remove those two states, this is a big landslide for Republicans every time. I'm not a Republican, but I'm just telling you the truth about that, right? And you guys can see it for yourself on the map. Look at the maps. They're always mostly red, right? Almost looks like a red wave on the map, and then like this little blue here, all in the East Coast, and you know what I mean, and then the North, and then the Washington State, Oregon is usually blue, and then maybe a little bit down in the bottom is blue as well. Bro, other than that, it's like literally red. All of America is literally red. Okay, so I thought that was interesting. That the break in the system is going to start with the Democrats trying to force an impeachment on Donald Trump. So I'm going to watch that very carefully because the Lord told Benny that guys got to go watch the video. Right, it's on the channel, and I uploaded it today, so a couple of hours ago actually. and that's going to force, and the markets are going to crash because that's stability and security is now gone, right? Because they're trying to impeach the president. So people are going to remove their funds because the stability and security is no longer there, right? And so that's going to, and they're going to put it into the U.S. dollar most likely. So the markets will crash, U.S. dollar will rise, right? And I kept telling you guys that if the US dollar goes to 100 or more, it's going to literally break the system and choke out these emerging markets, that they will have no other choice because they're being choked out so much to force to compete. Okay, they don't want to compete with the US dollar. They don't want to compete with the Chinese yuan and the euro. They want to just stay where they're at because it allows them to be corrupt. But because the U.S. dollar is going to go through the roof, right? Because of this impeachment, because the markets are going to crash, right? And people are going to put their money in the US dollar instead. And so it's going to send the US dollar skyrocketing in the index, maybe over 100, maybe to 105, 110, right? And the emerging markets are going to be eaten alive. And they're going to say, enough. We now have to challenge the US dollar. Okay. So that was really interesting. So let's just watch out for that. That's another wrinkle into all of this, right? Remember, Donald Trump says, if you're going to try to impeach me, the stock market is going to crash. Okay. And he said, good luck with that. So that's what they're going to do. And that's what's going to happen. And that will be a break in the system because the stock market is going to crash down, and then the dollar is going to be super strong, and the emerging markets are going to be choked out of existence unless they compete. And that's when the dinar and all these things are going to compete. They're gonna have no other choice, either die or compete. And they're going to compete, okay? And they're going to bring out their true values. All right, so I wanted to make sure that I got that out of the way before we get into this, because that was amazing, and that makes total sense. And it's unfortunate that that's what's going to take for these countries to actually love their own country, right? And even after that, that doesn't mean that they love their country. They were just forced to do that because they were being choked out as well. See, when it hurts their interests, then they have to play ball. So, you know what I mean? But either way, that's what's gonna happen, and that's another scenario that could happen. Okay, so hopefully I was clear about that. But if I wasn't, go to the video and watch Benny's video, and he explains it a lot better in that video because God told him exactly what was going to happen. All right, so special in figures. Okay, special in figures know the size of the debt incurred by Iraq. Okay, so the total debt's about $113 billion. Okay, and here it is. You got the Rafidian Bank and the central bank, as well as the Treasury and the bonds and remittance. It's about 40 billion on that side. You got the Paris Club debt, about 25.8 billion. We know France helped them out with that, but I mean, they still got 28. They still got 25.8 billion to go. And then you have what do you call it? It says also the debt not processed by 1990. Wow. Okay. So all they had debt before, and that hasn't been processed since 1990. Oh my God, $41 billion. Sheesh. And then they got the Kuwait remaining compensation, which is 4.3 billion. They're supposed to be giving them the oil revenues on that. So they should have gave it for January. Well, January is not over yet, so they should start giving the oil revenues in February for that. And hopefully they give the citizens as well, right? Hopefully by February 1st, first week of February, they're also giving the citizens the oil revenues from January. See, we all thought, including myself, that January 1, the citizens will get oil revenues. No, but in actuality, they said January was where the new year we will start giving the citizens oil revenue. So if they're going to give the citizens oil revenues in 2019, then the citizens have to wait till the first 2 weeks of February to get the oil revenues, right? So because January has 30 days, 31 days, whatever it has, right? And then they'll tally the oil revenues up, and then they can give it to the citizens in the first week or second week or third week, whatever they give out the revenues for January. So yeah, so whoever verdict said that he saw this thing coming to a climax and happening in February. Man, hey, look, man, I'm starting to agree with this guy, man. But at the same time, I'm gonna say that it could happen anytime, and that it could happen in 2020. It could happen in 2021. It could happen in October 2019. It could happen in April. It could happen whenever it's ready, whenever God and is ready to break the system and have this thing done. That's when it's going to happen. But I am starting to think like, hey man, that February hey, that might be, hey, you never know, man. It could be next week though. So they were, it wasn't February. I'm like, so what? I'm rich. So I'm rich like you now. You know. Anyways, let's move on. So it says Kuwait 4.3, Iran gas and electricity 1.8 billion. Okay, and then you have Iran. Remember, Iran demanded that in November or December. They demanded that 1.8 billion now, and they still haven't paid them. Wow, so interesting. So all tallies up to about 113 billion. Okay, so moving on. Let's go here, and this is the government announcement on the Mosul Dam. Okay, so and it says a drought situation next summer. So they're expecting summer 2019 to maybe be a drought season in Mosul. But right now, everything looks okay, and it's good enough to cover the agriculture of the land right now. But they are expecting some type of drought, so they need to be prepared for the drought by maybe adding more water or using less water and to prepare for that drought in the summer of 2019 that could be coming upon them. It says a member of the foreign ministers call on the government to reevaluate relations with the United States. Okay, so they're continuing to trying to push this on these. They saying that the executives at the higher ups are not really interested in it. They're just talking a lot of a smack, but they're really not that interested. It says, well, we have no executive authority to implement these recommendations. So just recommendations of the withdrawal of the troops and things like that. Now remember, they did say that this was going to be the year of sovereignty. So it doesn't, and also the Lord said that He was going to remove the hands of America off of Iran and Iraq, so His people can be free and His people can, complete their destinies, man. Complete their destinies and be free, right? Imagine being a child of God and you can't complete your destiny because of your environment, right? And you literally have nothing. And so it's like, God, why am I even created? Because I can't even complete my destiny on this planet. So because of that, God has to remove our hands from America, and so these people can be able to complete their destiny. So that's awesome. So praise God for that, right? Anyways, moving on from there. Let's go here. A whole bunch of look. I'm down here. Look how much we have to go up. So it's a whole bunch of stuff. So let's go through this and look at these. Look at these people. I was about to say something else. I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut. But look at these guys, right? A lot of you guys are sick of these people. Iraqi PM sends 2 names of ministerial nominees to Parliament. Okay. Now, we thought we had the Ministry of Education. Come to find out, they still need to vote on that. Oh gosh. So even with the guy's video we saw yesterday, they still have to vote on the name. They still got to vote on it. So and yeah, so they sent the names of education and justice, I believe. Oh boy. Okay. And then there's a lot of people saying, "Look, we're gonna do everything tomorrow, which is Wednesday, or we're gonna do everything on Thursday." They don't know. Okay. So here's another article. It says the Ministry of Finance presents a long-awaited story. Okay. Let me come here and let's go down some more here and see what this is about. Okay, so this is about the martyrs. Okay, the people that were martyred, the people that were killed. Okay, and this is like the family of the martyrs. Okay, they want the cancel the tax deductions and income tax, and just start the payments of salaries accumulated for the family of the martyrs. And they got the list of names here. There's a whole lot of list of names of people who fought. Okay, so they're going to be able, they don't want them to pay taxes and things like that. And they need to start giving them salaries. Because, when your husband, or, if you're a wife and you have family and your husband got, killed during the war on Daesh, then, what do you don't, and you're not working, then you need to be paid, right? You need to get compensation for that because he died for, the land of Iraq, right? Okay, so the date on the vote of the budget and candidates for justice and education. Okay, now is this Tamimi or just somebody else? Parliamentary Speaker Khadija. Okay, Khadija Ali. I've never heard of her before. Maybe I have. Maybe I've seen her before, but I don't. The name doesn't come up. Khadija Ali. I don't remember that name. Confirmed on Monday that tomorrow's session will witness the voting. Okay, so she said she said on Monday that Tuesday's session would be the budget, which wasn't today. Today's Tuesday, so it wasn't. And she said the likely of the candidates of education and justice would be on Thursday. Which Okay, so that's what she's saying, and we know that she was wrong about the budget, so she's probably wrong about the injustice and education because today's people don't know. I mean, it's always changing every day. Okay, so it says United Nations economy expects growth of the global economy and sets a path to poverty eradication. Okay, now we know this is Agenda 2030 and they want everybody to be the same. They're going to push socialism, and this is why they're infiltrating the US government to push socialism because they know if they can get into the US government with this socialism crap, it's going to spread around the rest of the world because America literally dictates what the rest of the world does, right? If everybody's wearing Nike shoes and Adidas, then the rest of the world starts wearing Nike shoes and Adidas. If you start twerking, the rest of the world is twerking. If you know what I mean? Like if you're Michael Jordan, the rest of the world wants to be like Mike. So they know that if America pushes socialism, everybody around the world is going to do the same thing. Okay, so they're trying to push the socialism agenda, and there it is, Agenda 2030. There it is, always popping up. Okay. Well, we don't want that. We want to be free, and we want to be free thinkers, and we want to be able to create products and businesses that do well or fail on our work. Okay, we don't want to all be the same and look the same. Okay, and earn the same income and be under control of a few people. Nah, we're good with that. Deputy, the budget of 2019 will be ready to vote on this date. Okay, which date is he giving? He's giving Thursday for the budget. Okay, so he says that the budget will be ready to go on Thursday. Isn't that crazy that they just did a 365 spin on the budget? Just last week they said the budget is, oh my god, there's an emergency on the budget. This is going to be so hard to pass. And then all of a sudden, about 45 hours to 72 hours later, a snap of a finger, hey, the budget's ready to go. Budget's ready to go on Tuesday. Budget's ready to go on Wednesday. Budget's ready to go on Thursday. Right? Like unbelievable. Like what these people do and how the articles that come out in Iraq. Okay, next up is the central bank is waiting to extend letters of guarantee to banking companies. Okay. Okay, so then that's the exchange companies. So letters of guarantees to the exchange companies are about to be sent out. Interesting. The exchange companies will be informed by the amount of the guaranteed letter to the company's capital to be determined later. Guaranteed. The central bank decided on January 9th that the period of validity of letters of guarantee issued by banks for the benefit of companies to mediate the sale and purchase of foreign currencies for 6 months instead of 1 year. Okay. All right. So you guys can do whatever you want with that. Letter of guarantees. Central Bank is making a lot of moves lately. And here is the at World Economic Forum in Davos. We know Iraq is represented, including America. Everybody's there. Central bankers and all that stuff is there as well. Here is the agenda of Parliament is devoid of casting the candidates for justice and education. Yeah, so today they were supposed to cast the vote for justice and education today. Now we yesterday we thought the education minister was already cast and done and already replaced, but no, they had to vote on. They had to vote on it. So then they didn't do it again today. Okay. So justice and education still did not get done. Okay. So let's see here. Urgent. Speaker of the House. Tomorrow will be a session of the Parliament, and its agenda will include a vote on the budget and the completion of cabinet cabins. Okay, so cabinet names over there. There's four of them to do. So the Speaker of the House is saying that they're going to vote on the budget and complete all four names tomorrow. Okay, and there he is right there. So he says here, Halabasi, who's the Speaker of the House, this guy right here, he says policy sets a session to complete the government and vote on the budget. Okay, now is this Wednesday or Thursday? Because he's saying that it's Wednesday, but he's going to host the Prime Minister on Thursday. Something's not right here. These articles are just something's wrong. Okay, yeah, you would expect the prime minister to be there if you're going to vote on the budget. Well, he doesn't need to be there for the budget because that's mostly the president. That the president's going to sign off on the budget. But you expect him to be there for the cabinet vote, right? If you're really going to vote on the cabinet to speak, the prime minister needs to be there, right? And for him not to be there on Wednesday, but he's going to be there on Thursday, tells us that Wednesday might be a joke, and then Thursday might be the actual day. But anyways, it says here that they're going to decide to hold a meeting on Wednesday, which includes a vote on the federal budget in the current year and the completion of the vote of the ministers' vacancies. Okay, and it says in the current government formation headed by Abdul Mahdi. And then also it says tomorrow will be a session, blah blah blah. Okay, we already know that. It said the prime minister will be hosted on Thursday. That doesn't make sense. Why would the prime minister not be in the he's not at Davos, so why wouldn't he be in the session on Wednesday to vote if you're really holding a session on Wednesday, right? But most likely you might be holding a session on Thursday, right? It says speaker announced hosting Abdul Mahdi in a session on Thursday. It says, okay, so why would you then vote or be one day before he's coming to Parliament? That doesn't make any sense. Okay. Interesting. I've done this before. I've seen this before, and maybe they're gonna take Wednesday to do it, and then Thursday it's gonna be just about the prime minister, and he's gonna lay out his plans for the steps to implement his government programs and things like that. So I don't know, man. We're just gonna have to. I hope they vote on the budget and the cabinet members on the same day, because I even told you guys. Imagine if imagine if the budget and the cabinet members and the CBI governor are all decided on the same day. Like, you know what I mean? Like that would be crazy. Okay, but let's keep the CBI governor position till later. Let's focus on completing the budget and complete. I don't really care about the budget because the budget means nothing until they remove that program rate. But let's just get it out the way because they keep talking about it. So let's complete the budget this week and let's complete the cabinet names, and that frees the cabinet. So we're going to have a break in the system of the cabinet of Iraq. Hopefully this week. Okay, we know that it could draw out a lot longer because they might start fighting again and things like that, and then they have to delay and delay and delay. But if we can get out of January with the budget and the cabinet names, that's a win. And then we go into February, okay? And then we're going to February with impeach, 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 and prophetic booms. Okay, so that would be awesome. But it could be also drawn out longer term as well. So we just have to wait and see. Hey, let me wrap this up. We're 24 minutes in, and let's wrap. Let's finish the rest of these headlines. A delegation of Qatari businessmen visited Iraq. Okay, cool. All right, so let's moving on from there. Let's come up here. It says urgent Abdul Mahdi announces full control of all border ports. Now that's a big deal because you needed that before you raised that value, right? Before you removed the program rate, you needed the borders to be all secured, and you must have the custom tariffs agreed upon on all of the land of Iraq. Okay, and they did that. So good. Now you know what I mean. So that's really good, and that's good. Now, of course, they still have not taxed all goods and services yet, and all food and goods, right, and services. They have not done that yet. Abdul Mahdi, we have gone a long way in organizing the work of ports and tariffs customs. Yes, but you have not announced the taxes on goods and all goods and services. So until you do that, and you're not going to do it, you shouldn't do it until you remove the program rate because doesn't make sense on taxing people. It's like Zimbabwe, where how they raised the oil prices without giving purchasing power. It's a complete chaos. It's a complete disaster. You know, they raised the oil prices through the roof, but they didn't give the people purchasing power. Okay. So and now it's a chaos, and so that it would be the same thing in Iraq if you put customs and taxes on all foods and services, and yet they don't have any purchasing power. They're going to go completely nuts, okay? Because they can't afford the food and services now, and now you're going to tax it. Okay, I'm coming for you, and the green zone's open to come for you, right? Okay, so this is here. So the budget allocation is 1 billion dinars to another Kurdish region. Okay, so another Kurdish city got $1 billion. Okay, good. Moving on, let's wrap this up here so you guys can go check out Benny's video. Um, Okay, it says here that the most important decisions of the Council of Ministers from today's meeting, not really much happened. They're talking about some school stuff and some general inspector stuff, launching the reports of the Iraqi national plans of actions. This is stuff we don't really care about, and it's talking about some women's peace and things like that. Okay, so it was nothing that concerned us. The thing we need to focus on is that all the border ports are open, are under control of Iraq now, and unified for the custom tariffs that are going to be placed on all goods and services, probably the same time they remove the program rate, or before, and then we might see some chaos, and then they release the program rate and give them purchasing power. Okay. And then we also need to remember that tomorrow could be the day that they actually vote on all of the cabinet members and the budget. And if not, they will host the prime minister on Thursday. Okay, so we want to see this week be the week they actually change the rate. Okay, to 1,200 to 1. They vote on the cabinet members and they complete the budget this week. I hope this is the week they do that, right? And then we get ready for the storm, right? And the showdown, the storm of impeachment. Remember, Prophet Kim Clement. They shall scream impeach, but God says this shall not happen. It shall not be. Right, so that's coming, right? That's that. I mean, it's already been happening, but it's gonna go even further with like paperwork and things like that, and it's gonna affect the markets, and the markets will then start to crash because they believe that people are gonna in Wall Street are gonna believe that Donald Trump is out of there, and the people around the world are gonna believe the same thing, and it's gonna scare the crap out of them, and they're gonna flood their money in U.S. dollars as a safe zone, as a safety net. U.S. dollars, U.S. dollars, U.S. dollars, and the U.S. dollar is gonna go through the roof, and that might crash everything around the world, and these emerging markets are going to have no choice but to reveal their true value to compete to stay alive. Okay, so there you go. Talk to you guys later. Eyes open. Peace out. Bye.